Chapter 5, Nightmares. Sleep don't come like it used to. When sleep comes, it comes in pieces. Thin, ugly slices that never add up to rest. My body falls into it from exhaustion, not peace. And every time I cross over, the same place waits for me. Street, always a street. Wet pavement. A street lamp flickering like it's tired of watching men die. Damon's face twisted under me, not begging, just hateful. Like even with a gun in my hand, he thought he still had something over me. I see it every time. I feel it every time. The moment I pull the trigger, the way his body jerks, the way his eyes stay locked on mine like he's trying to take something with him. Then the darkness swallows it. The dream collapses into black. And then it shifts. I'm smaller. Too small to be in that street. My hands are little. My chest doesn't hurt yet. My back isn't broken. I'm standing in front of a rundown brick house I recognize even though I haven't seen it in decades. The air smells like hot concrete and cigarettes. I'm 7. So is Damon. He's standing across the street from me, crying. Face dirty, nose running. Shirt too big. He's scared but trying not to show it. I know that look. I gave him that look plenty of times. I left him there on the street he doesn't know. A neighborhood he doesn't know. The memory plays like it's happening now. I remember walking away. I remember thinking he'd be fine. I remember thinking I'd come back. I didn't. The shadow falls over me. My father. His hand comes out of nowhere, not to my face, to my chest. He punches me hard enough that I stumble back, air exploding out of my lungs. I can't breathe. My little body folds forward and he grabs my shirt and yanks me upright. His eyes are furious. Not wild, not drunk. Disappointed.
He's your fucking brother. Y'all having 2 different mamas don't mean shit. You look out for him, always.
He shoves me again toward Damon. Always. The word echoes. Always. The scene blurs. The house fades. My father's face dissolves into shadow. And then, Jada. Not as a thought. Not as a memory. As a presence. The black shifts into a room I recognize without needing details. Warm light. A familiar silence. The kind that happens in a home when the world can't reach you for a moment. She's there, moving through the space with her hair pulled back, face bare, eyes tired. The tired isn't just from lack of sleep. It's the tired of a woman who's been carrying too much for too long. She doesn't see me. That's the first pain. I call her name, but my voice doesn't work in dreams. My mouth opens, nothing comes out, and the sound dies inside my throat like the world refuses to give me even that. She walks past me like I'm smoke, and it makes sense because to her. I am. Ari appears next, small body, bare feet. Pajamas too big, sleeves pushed up. She has a toy in her hand, dragging it down the hallway like it's the only thing keeping her steady. She's older than the last time I saw her. That detail hits me like a fist. Older, because time is moving without me. She pauses at the living room door and looks around like she feels something, like she senses I'm there. My chest tightens. Ari, I try to say, nothing. She rubs her eyes and calls out softly, Mommy. Jada answers from somewhere else, voice gentle but strained.
I'm right here, baby.
Ari takes a breath like she's bracing herself for something and then says it. I had a dream about Uncle Malik again. The words drag my soul open. Jada appears in the doorway, moving fast now like she's been running from that sentence and finally got caught. She drops to her knees in front of Ari, smoothing her hair back, pressing a kiss to her forehead.
What happened in the dream?
Ari's mouth trembles. Her eyes fill. He was calling me, she whispers, but I couldn't find him. My heart breaks in a way I don't have language for. Jada's face tightens. She blinks hard once, twice, like she's trying to keep herself from spilling apart in front of her child.
It's okay? It's okay, baby?
Ari's lip quivers harder. Is he really gone? Jada's breath catches. The question sits in the air like a blade. Jada pulls Ari into her arms. Holds her tight, tighter than a normal hug, like she can squeeze grief into silence if she holds hard enough.
I don't know.
Jada whispers into her hair. That's when I realize the dream isn't only mine. Jada doesn't know. Not in her spirit, not in her bones. She's living with a death that doesn't sit right. And it's hurting her. Because I'm not there to hold her up. Because I'm not there to tell Ari that I'm still breathing. Because I'm in a mansion in Canada, braced up, half broken, letting other people decide what truth I'm allowed to give. Jada lifts her head and looks around the room like she feels a shift in the air. Like she feels me. For 1 second, her eyes land on mine, and I swear she sees me. Not with her sight, with something deeper. Her expression changes. Her breathing stutters. My whole body locks up. Jada's lips part like she's about to say my name. Then the dream cracks. The walls blur. The room dissolves. And I'm ripped back into darkness again, dragged away from her, like the universe is punishing me for reaching. I fight it. I try to claw my way back into the dream, back into her house, back into Ari's arms, back into the warmth of something real. But the darkness wins. It always does. Chapter 6, Progress. The rehab room sits on the opposite end of Slim's mansion, tucked behind a set of double doors most people never open. And every day I walk there, it feels less like a destination and more like a test of balance, of patience, of whether my body will keep choosing me when I ask it to. The walk used to take everything out of me. First there was the wheelchair and my legs' useless weight in front of me, my pride heavier than the steel frame beneath my hands. Then came the walker, that quiet insult dressed up as progress. Every step announcing what I had lost more loudly than what I was gaining. Now there is just me. No chair. No walker. Just the floor, the distance, and the way my left side still hesitates like it's waiting for permission. I move slowly, deliberately, counting each step not out of fear, but out of discipline. I don't rush my body. Rushing is how you fall. Rushing is how you reopen wounds that are trying to close. The pain doesn't live in my days anymore the way it used to. It waits for night when the house goes quiet and my body remembers everything it survived all at once. During the day, it stays low, manageable like a reminder rather than a warning. At night, it deepens, settles into my spine like a weight I have to breathe around. I take Tylenol for it, nothing stronger. I don't like my thoughts dulled. I need my mind exactly where it is. The rehab room is larger than it needs to be, all mirrors and light and equipment that looks like it belongs to athletes and soldiers, not men who were supposed to die on dark streets. The first time I saw it, I thought Slim was overcompensating. Now I understand he doesn't do half measures. Bree is already there when I arrive. She has me on the table before I can sit too long with my thoughts, efficient and calm, her movements practiced but not cold, like she understands the difference between force and control. She straps my left leg in first, the one that still requires more conversation than the rest of me, and lifts it slowly, carefully giving my muscles time to decide whether they're going to cooperate.
Try to relax.
She says, I don't. The stretch pulls tight through my hip and up into my spine, a bright, sharp line of sensation that makes my jaw lock on instinct.
Breathe.
She reminds me, her voice steady, unbothered by my silence. I do, slow and deep, and she holds the position just long enough for my muscles to start shaking before easing it back down.
Again.
We do it again, and again, and again, until my body stops fighting and starts yielding, until the tension loosens its grip, just enough to remind me that progress is possible if I don't rush it. She switches sides, checks my range of motion, presses into a place that feels like it's been storing anger for months. And while she works, she starts talking the way she always does. Not because she expects answers, but because she refuses to let the silence settle too comfortably between us.
Did you see the news this morning?
She asks, like this is a normal gym and not a private recovery room in a house designed to disappear men like me.
Some politician got caught having an affair with his assistant. Again, I swear, if men put half as much effort into their marriages as they do into sneaking around, the world would be quieter.
I stare at the ceiling and keep my breathing even. She lifts my leg higher.
I don't know why they're always shocked when they get caught, like cameras and phones don't exist anymore.
Her hands are firm, unafraid, not treating my body like something fragile or dangerous. And that in itself is something I'm still adjusting to. She doesn't flinch when my muscles tighten. She doesn't pull away when pain flickers across my face. She just works. When she moves to my other leg, her fingers brush my hand by accident, and for a brief second, her gaze drops. Not to my face, not to my injury, but to my left hand, to my ring finger, to the ink there. Jada. I feel the moment it registers in her eyes, the way her focus sharpens, the way something quiet and human flickers across her expression. Her fingers still. Not long enough to be obvious, but long enough for me to notice. I've learned to notice small things. Her eyes lift from my hand to my face, then back again like she's connecting something she didn't realize she'd been seeing this whole time. I know the question forming on her lips before she does. Who is she? Is her fingers move again? She doesn't ask. She just keeps talking.
My parents came to Ontario from Jamaica when I was 3.
She says like the moment never happened, like the name on my skin didn't just introduce itself into the room.
Didn't have much. My dad worked 3 jobs for a while. My mom cleaned houses and still came home and cooked like it was nothing.
Her voice carries a warmth when she talks about them, something rooted, something earned.
I didn't really understand how much they gave up until I got older.
She adds, adjusting the strap around my leg.
How brave it was to leave everything familiar and start over somewhere cold and strange.
Her words pull me backward without warning. Not to the street, to a tattoo chair, to the hum of a machine and the smell of disinfectant and ink. It had been a month after Jada left for Guyana. 1 month of pretending I was fine. 1 month of telling myself distance was temporary, that what we had was strong enough to survive time and miles and uncertainty. I'd gone in to get my sleeve maintained, lines sharp and shading touched up, the kind of upkeep you do when you care about the things that last. My artist had looked at me over his mask and asked, casual,
"You want anything else while you're here?"
I hadn't planned it. That's what I tell myself. But the truth is, the idea had been sitting with me since the day she left, since the house went too quiet and her things stayed where she left them. Yeah, I'd said, surprising both of us. I want a name. He'd raised an eyebrow.
Serious?
I'd nodded. Left ring finger. Small. Permanent. Jada. It hurt more than the sleeve maintenance ever had, maybe because that spot is all nerve and bone. Maybe because it felt like a promise written in the skin. I remember watching the ink settle, black and deliberate, and thinking that even if she never came back, even if life pulled us in different directions, I wanted that truth on me, not for her. For me. The table work ends and Bree has me sit up, then stand watching my balance closely as I straighten.
No walker today.
She says, already knowing. I step forward, slow, careful, but steady. We move to the floor, cone set in simple patterns, and she has me walk. Heel to toe, controlled turns, stops that force my body to remember where it is in space. My left side still lags, but it responds faster now, like it trusts me again.
Pick it up. There you go.
While we move, she keeps talking.
I want to open my own rehab center one day. Something smaller, more personal, not one of those places where people feel like charts instead of people.
We stop so I can catch my breath, my hands resting on my hips, my chest rising and falling slow and controlled.
Turns out, I'm good at what I do isn't enough for a loan officer.
She adds, I don't usually speak, I don't plan to. But the words leave me anyway. Stay consistent. She blinks. Actually blinks.
What?
She asks, like she's not sure she heard me right. I look at the floor. They don't invest in ideas. They invest in patterns. For a moment, the room goes quiet. Then she smiles, not polite, not professional, real.
I'll take that. Coming from the quietest man in Canada.
She laughs softly and keeps talking, telling me about the gym she used to work at, about patients who tested her patience, about how she hates winter but refuses to move somewhere warm out of stubborn principle. I listen. I always listen. By the time we're done, my shirt is damp and my muscles feel used. Not injured, not broken. Used. She hands me water.
You're moving better, a lot better.
I nod.
Soon I won't be able to slow you down.
I don't answer. As we walk back toward the door, my steps slow but steady, I catch her glance at my hand again. Quick, thoughtful, like the name there's a question she's decided not to ask. And I'm grateful for that. That night, the pain comes back the way it always does, deep and persistent, and I take Tylenol and stare at the ceiling until it fades into something I can live with. My body's coming back. My life is not. I think about Jada, about Ari, about the way her name sits on my skin like a truth I never questioned. Some things don't heal because they were never broken. They just wait. Chapter 7, Discipline. The nights are mine. That's the first thing I learned once my body stops needing to be watched over by my mother and the nurses Slim had hired from when I was discharged from the hospital. There was no use for them since I refused to take anything outside of Tylenol, and I took care of my basic hygiene needs myself. My mother refused to return home, so her day consisted of talking to me when I wasn't rehabbing, talking on the phone with her sisters, shopping in the city, and going to yoga. The house still breathes around me. Security shifting, doors sealing, cameras blinking. But the nights belong to me in a way the days don't. I wait until the house settles into its deepest quiet. Slim and his wife slept on the opposite side of this 10,000 square foot home, and my mother was in one of the many guest rooms. I waited until the lights in the hall dim. I swing my legs over the side of the bed slowly, letting my feet find the floor without rushing them. The left one still takes a second longer, still feels like it's checking in with a different version of me before it agrees to move, but it gets there. That matters. I don't turn on the lights. I don't need them. I move through the dark by memory now, by the shape of the room, by the quiet awareness that has always lived under my skin. I stretch first. Slow, deliberate. The same movements Bree has drilled into me during the day. Hip flexors, hamstrings, lower back. I don't push past the line she warned me about, but I ride right up to it and sit there, breathing through the burn until my muscles stop arguing. This isn't defiance. It's respect. Respect for my body, for what it survived, for what I'm asking it to do next. I walk the length of the room and back again, then again, then again, increasing my pace just enough to make my heart work without letting my balance slip. I practice stops, controlled turns, the kind of movements that don't look like much until you realize how many men die because they can't stop fast enough. The mirrors on the far wall catch my reflection in fragments. I don't look like the man I was before. Thinner, paler. The lines in my face sharper, harder. My body is still wrapped in quiet reminders of damage. Braces, scars, stiffness that hasn't let go yet. But my eyes are the biggest difference. They're colder, not dead, focused. I work until sweat gathers at the base of my spine and my legs start to tremble. Not the weak kind of shaking, but the kind that comes from asking muscles to remember their purpose. I stop before exhaustion turns reckless. That's the discipline part. Knowing when to stop is just as important as knowing how to push. I sit on the edge of the bed and drink water slowly, letting my breathing settle. The pain is there, but it's controlled, familiar, manageable. Slim hasn't said much since Bree's conversation with him. I know better than to mistake that for inaction. Slim is always doing something, even when it looks like he isn't, especially then. And I know, without him saying it, that this phase matters. Not just recovery, transition. The point where healing stops being about survival and starts becoming something else. Preparation. During the day, Bree works my body like a map, reading it, correcting it, coaxing it back into alignment. She talks while she works, filling the room with pieces of herself like she's leaving breadcrumbs behind without expecting me to follow them. She tells me she's 32, raised by both of her parents, Jamaican descendants who came north with more hope than money and built something solid anyway. She's the oldest of 4 sisters, which explains the quiet authority in her voice, the way she naturally leads without announcing it, the way she notices everything and carries responsibility like it's always been hers. She talks about growing up in a loud house full of women, about learning early how to mediate, how to protect, how to stand firm without hardening. She mentions the University of Toronto like it was just another stop on the road, says she earned her master's there with the same tone someone else might use to talk about a grocery run. But I hear the pride tucked beneath it, the discipline it took, the nights she must have stayed up believing in a future that wasn't guaranteed. No kid, she says, wants. She wants to have at least 4 after marriage, her eyes catching light every time family entered our one-sided conversation. She believes in black love and in black family, in unity that lasts beyond feelings and moments. Says it plainly, like wanting permanence isn't something to apologize for. She tells me she dates casually, shrugs when she says it, then admits, almost reluctantly, that there's one man she likes more than she lets on. An engineer. Stable. Consistent. She laughs when she says it, like she's teasing herself for caring, for wanting something that looks safe in a world that rarely is. She works per diem at a privately owned clinic, filling in where she's needed, and she talks about it like she's grateful, but restless at the same time. She's worked for Slim before, she tells me one afternoon while stretching my hip. Back when he dislocated his shoulder skiing and needed someone discreet, competent, and quiet. That's how she ended up here. One day, without any ceremony, she says she wants to own her own practice someday, not flashy, not corporate. Just hers. A place where people are treated like people, not charts. The way she says it tells me it's not a dream she's trying on. It's one she's been carrying for a long time. She tells me all of this casually over days and weeks, in fragments and passing comments, never sitting me down, never demanding my attention, never asking me to reciprocate. And I don't. I offer her nothing of me, not my past. Not my plans, not my grief. I don't feel like I have anything left inside me that's meant for offering. What I have now is reserved, guarded, spoken for by something unfinished. She never pries. Never asks why I don't talk. Never leans too close to the locked doors in my silence. But I notice the way her eyes light up when I do speak, on the rare occasions when a subtle comment slips past my defenses. A word, a sentence. Advice given without warmth or explanation. She doesn't make a big deal of it. She doesn't push for more. She just smiles like it's enough to know I'm still in there somewhere. And maybe that's why I keep listening. Because she gives without asking. And for now, that's all I can accept. On nights like these, I take what she's given me and make it sharper, more precise, more intentional. I move barefoot across the hardwood, testing my balance without the cushion of shoes. I practice standing still with my eyes closed, letting my body learn where center is again. I practice controlled lunges, shallow at first, then deeper. Listen to the way my back responds, the way my left leg hesitates and then commits. I stop when it starts to hurt wrong. I keep going when it hurts honest. There's a difference. I shower afterward, letting the hot water loosen muscles that don't want to let go yet. And I catch sight of the tattoo on my hand again as I soap up, the letters dark against my skin. Jada. I don't touch it. I don't trace it. I just acknowledge it. It's not a reminder. It's a fact. Days pass like this. Therapy with Bree in the rehab room. Conversation flowing around my silence like water around stone. Nights alone with my body, refining what the days restore. Bree notices the changes before I say anything.
You're stronger in the mornings.
She says one day, watching the way I move through a balance drill.
Your transitions are smoother.
I nod. She tilts her head slightly, studying me the way she does when she's cataloging something new.
You doing extra work at night?
I don't answer. She smiles like she expected that.
Just don't overdo it, okay? I like this version of you that's progressing. We do not need any setbacks.
I don't respond, but I hear her. I always hear her. She talks about small things while we work. Something she saw online, a patient who made her laugh, a recipe her mother swears by, but she can never get right. She talks like she's anchoring herself to normalcy, like if she keeps the room human enough, neither of us will disappear into what we're really here for. Sometimes I catch her watching me when she thinks I'm not paying attention. Not in a way that feels intrusive, but in a curious and a thoughtful way. Like she's trying to understand the space between who I am and who I was. I don't give her anything to work with. That's not cruelty. That's protection for both of us. The phone rings while I'm locked into a balance drill, my core tight, my jaw clenched. Bree doesn't even look at it, just sends whoever it is straight to voicemail. It rings again. She sighs, rolls her eyes, and answers without taking her attention fully off me.
I'll call you back. I'm working.
Whatever's said on the other end changes her face. I catch it immediately. The shift. This isn't her rambling, fill the silence face that she has with me. A beat passes.
Like I said, I'm working. Bye.
She ends the call and shoves her phone back into the pocket of her scrubs, arms crossing over her chest as she steps back to observe me. She's quiet now. Whoever that was knocked her out of her usual rhythm. Minutes drag by. All I hear is our breathing until she finally breaks the silence.
You're a great listener. Even though you rarely respond, I can tell you're actually listening.
I glance up at her for half a second, then back down at my feet. She exhales, louder this time.
I don't have any brothers, and I could use a male opinion right now.
I keep my eyes down, waiting. When she doesn't continue, I look up, just enough to let her know I'm listening. She lets out another heavy breath.
Am I being harsh for feeling some type of way that the guy I'm dating lives a lavish lifestyle, funds his mother's entire life, but asked me to buy my own plane ticket to Aruba?
I frown and look back down.
And before you answer,
She rushes on.
he checks all my boxes. I'm not saying I can't pay for my own ticket. It's just that he asked me to attend this wedding, and
I shake my head, cutting her off. You don't need me to answer that. You got a psych degree, you better use it. Her eyes widening in my head, the conversation's over. Ain't nothing to unpack. A nigga means asking you to pay your own way to a destination wedding he invited you to. That's disrespect wrapped in audacity.
how do you know about my psych degree?
I frown like that should be obvious. The same way everyone looks up the person treating them. The internet. She blinks. She's momentarily speechless. That's rare for her, and I don't know why my comment surprises her.
Well,
She finally says,
I don't feel like using my psych degree right now. According to Slim, those skills aren't needed under his roof.
that pulls a chuckle out of me before I can stop it. Not loud, but enough. Bree eyes bulge again. She's so fucking dramatic sometimes. I wipe the smirk off my face and take a breath. He should be paying for your ticket, Bree. No, you're not being harsh. She nods.
I think it bothers me because I've seen him cover tabs for himself and 8 of his friends at an high-end restaurant. I've seen him give money away. He takes care of his mother, which I respect truly. It just feels like with me, it's,
She hesitates.
A, you're successful, you can pay this type of thing.
She looks at me, waiting. Drop him, I say flatly. If it don't sit right with you, trust that. She tilts her head.
How do you feel about women paying for certain things?
I frown. I don't let women pay for shit, so I wouldn't know.
Shit.
She presses nothing. I snap. Women don't pay for nothing with me. Cars, houses, food, trips, tampons, yoga classes. The irritation creeps up fast. The bullet to my back didn't just tear a muscle. It took my patience with it. I don't like talking anymore. I fast to become irritable. My own mama knows that, Slim knows that, and Bree knows it too, but she's choosing to ignore my agitation at the moment. Bree nods, like she wants to say more, then thinks better of it. She looks down, and for a second, guilt flickers in my chest. This is why I stay quiet. I take a deep breath and clear my throat. He's generous to people he likes or loves, his friends, his mama. He just don't like you like that. Drop his ass. Her mouth falls open.
Maybe he's testing me.
If he is, you about to fail the test, I say, turning my back to signal I'm done talking. I move to the bench, grab my water, and catch her watching me, smiling.
You know I'll be discharging you from my care real soon. You've made so much progress you barely need me anymore.
I lift the bottle and chug. Is all I say. The dreams don't stop. They never do. But they change. The street still comes back, still sharp and violent and unfinished, but it doesn't pull me under the way it used to. I wake up less panicked, more alert, like my mind is learning that survival doesn't have to feel like drowning. Jada still appears too, but the dreams don't linger as long. They don't leave me hollowed out the way they once did. Instead, they leave something steadier behind. Resolve. I wait before dawn one morning and stand by the window, watching the sky lighten just enough to remind me that the world is still turning, still happening without me. I press my palm to the glass, not in longing, in acknowledgement, soon. The first time Slim watches me train at night, I don't notice him at first. I'm in the rehab room, barefoot, working through a sequence Bree taught me earlier that day, focusing on transitions. when I catch movement in the mirror. Slim is standing near the door, arms crossed, expression unreadable. He doesn't interrupt. He just watches. I finish the set and straighten slowly, my back tight but stable, my breathing controlled. I meet his eyes in the mirror.
You healing fast.
Body remembers. I reply. He nods once.
Mind catching up?
I don't answer right away. I turn to face him fully. Mine never left. Slim studies me for a long moment, then exhales slowly.
Bree doing good work.
She is.
You listening to her?
I think about her voice, steady and calm, about the way she fills silence without demanding anything in return. Yes, I say. Slim nods, satisfied.
We getting close.
I don't ask her what. I already know he's about to present me some facts that will further change my life. After that, the discipline sharpens. My nights become more structured. Time sets, controlled intervals, no wasted movement, no unnecessary strain. I build endurance without sacrificing precision, strength without bulk, balance without speed. I'm not trying to be who I was before. I'm trying to be better, different, quieter, the kind of man who doesn't need momentum to move, the kind who can wait. During the day, Bree keeps talking, keeps smiling, keeps pretending my silence doesn't bother her, even though I can tell it does sometimes. She hides it well, but I see it in the way her questions trail off, the way she waits a beat longer than necessary before moving on. One afternoon, as she adjusts a strap on my leg, her gaze flicks to my ring finger again. Just a glance, just the breath of a moment. She doesn't ask. She never does. And I respect her for that more than she knows. By the end of the week, I'm jogging 10 minutes without stopping, slow and steady, unassisted. The pain still comes at night, still reminds me I'm not finished yet, but it no longer feels like a warning. It feels like a countdown. I stand in the rehab room one night, sweat cooling my skin, and look at my reflection again. The man staring back at me isn't healed, but he's ready. Ready to listen. Ready to watch. Ready to move when the moment comes. I turn off the lights and leave the room, my steps quiet and deliberate. The house settles around me, and somewhere deep inside, something else settles too. The kind of calm that only comes when you know exactly what you're preparing for and exactly who you're preparing to become.
Coming up on part 4.
Let's talk about Damon. It's been a couple months since his death. What's the first word or feeling that comes to your head when I mention his name? You're crying tonight. What about tonight is so triggering?
Why is she here?
Who, girl? What are you talking about?
Her, with the baby.
Take this dick while I watch her.